Kouri Richins now faces additional charges in the murder of her own husband. That's right. I'm Jesse Weber, bringing you the latest developments in the fascinating case out of Summit County, Utah. But first, to give you a little bit of background. So the case surrounded the death of Eric Richins on March 4th, 2022. Kouri Richins called 911 in the middle of the night after allegedly finding her husband unresponsive at the foot of their bed. Eric Richins was pronounced dead despite first responders performing life-saving measures, and a toxicology report found that the 39-year-old had 5 times the lethal dose of fentanyl in his system.
In his last moments, after being intentionally poisoned, he was faced with betrayal and terror. The thought of it is unbearable. I am haunted by the horror of it.
Prosecutors originally indicted Kouri Richins on aggravated murder and drug-related charges, accusing her of spiking her husband's drink with fentanyl the night he died. And as for a motive?
Kouri put together a golf tournament in Eric's name 2 months after his death on what would have been his 40th birthday, and told his family, all of us, that we were not allowed to attend. Since Eric's death, it has come to our attention that Kouri took out multiple life insurance policies on Eric without his knowledge. It appears that she forged his signature on various documents, assigned herself as Eric's durable power of attorney, inappropriately diverted money from his business to herself, and assigned herself as beneficiary of Eric's portion of our mother's retirement account. I should also not forget to mention the multiple life insurances she has taken out on the boys. Her most recent business venture was authoring a children's book about how to help grieving children.
Oh, you heard that right. Prosecutors accused Kouri Richins of killing her husband in order to cash out on millions of dollars in life insurance money, while simultaneously writing a children's book on grief for her 3 sons to help them cope with the loss of their father.
Her behavior gives me great concern, as she has exploited the boys for money and will likely do so again. In addition, Kouri has weaponized Eric's children, manipulating my dad to do or not do things by threatening to cut him out of their lives if he did not capitulate to her demands. She similarly deprived the boys of contact with myself, my sister, and her daughters, unless we agreed to give her the money in Eric's trust. Money that Eric wanted to go to his 3 children. As if that were not enough, I have been told that Kouri started telling their 3 little boys that none of Eric's family or friends loved them. She apparently told them none of us cared for them or wanted to be around them, even though that is the exact opposite of what was happening. We all want nothing more than to be there for those 3 little boys, my nephews, yet Kouri has made sure to cut us out of every aspect of their lives. This is all just a brief summary and the start of what our family has been through over the last year. We have scarcely gone a day without finding out some new allegations or evidence regarding something Kouri appears to have maliciously done to attack and undermine my brother, his 3 little boys, and our family. We have all been there since the beginning of Kouri's and Eric's relationship. I was there on one of their first dates. We were there at the wedding. We were there when each of the boys were born. We have been there for every birthday party, school graduation, and rodeo. We welcomed her into our family and treated her as one of us. Not only did she betray our brother, it feels as though she has murdered and taken away a part of our souls as well. Because of her actions, there has not been a day that has gone by we have not lived with paralyzing anxiety and fear, worrying for the boys' lives as well as our own. I may be naive, but I never knew evil like this existed.
In addition to charges of aggravated murder and drug distribution, prosecutors have now tacked on financial crimes and attempted murder charges to Kouri Richins' indictment. So the financial crimes stems from accusations of forging 2 mortgage loan applications, fraudulently claiming life insurance benefits, and forging at least 1 insurance application following Eric Richins' death. Now, the day after her husband's death, Kouri Richins closed on a large Utah property called the Midway Mansion with a $2 million price tag, and she told investigators that the purchase of the property was the reason they celebrated the night before Eric Richins' death.
This case has motive that she needed to get out of this debt, and that's the reason she killed Eric, in hopes of getting his estate, in hopes of getting his life insurance policies, and that, Your Honor, we believe is substantial evidence.
Now, as for the attempted murder charges, prosecutors accuse Kouri Richins of trying to poison her husband on Valentine's Day, just weeks before Eric Richins' death.
We're going to now shift, Detective, from the night of Eric's death to a second drug buy initiated before his death and concluded after his death, okay?
Okay.
What, if anything, did CL tell you about the defendant approaching CL a second time for fentanyl?
CL told us that approximately a week after delivering fentanyl, the defendant reached out to her again by text or call and said that she wanted some more fentanyl that was stronger than the previous batch.
And in response, what, if anything, did CL do?
CL told us that she again reached out to acquaintance 1 because she had lost the phone number for acquaintance 2, and again requested from acquaintance 1 that she provide her with the phone number for acquaintance 2. She also made other statements in Facebook messages regarding that request.
Kouri Richins allegedly put a dinner sandwich laced with drugs in Eric's truck. This was a diner sandwich, I should say. And Eric then allegedly reached out to another friend claiming that Kouri tried to poison him as he broke out in hives. Now, keep in mind, a newly released court affidavit named Kouri's mother, Lisa Darden, as a possible suspect in Eric's death after going through a similar situation in 2006. At that time, a previous partner of Darden died suddenly of an oxycodone overdose, and she was named beneficiary of an estate a short time before her death. Sound awfully familiar? Well, as the prosecution continues to collect evidence in the case, here's an idea of Kouri Richins' possible defense.
There was no fentanyl or traces of fentanyl found in the home anywhere. And I think that's significant. I think if she had gotten 30 pills on at least 2 separate occasions, that's a lot of fentanyl. I mean, if one's lethal, all right, we're talking about a lot of fentanyl, and nothing is found, no traces anywhere, absolutely nothing. So I think the state's making a big leap in their evidence by saying, look, we have this girl, we know she's a drug dealer, we know she's buying fentanyl, but there's nothing to corroborate anything she says that ties it to Kouri. The glass, Kouri tells him she made him a drink. And so even getting the life insurance money was not going to solve Kouri's problems, not even close to solving her problems. And so that evidence alone, while, maybe there's some other issues with Kouri's business, there's nothing to tie it to her having any motive or in any way being in a better position from Eric's death. In fact, she's in a worse position because of his death, because Eric had a business. He was continually making money.
Kouri Richins is being held without bail in Summit County, Utah, and her next preliminary hearing is scheduled for May 15th. There's really no telling what else could happen as this case progresses, so we'll be sure to bring you all of the latest updates related to the Kouri Richins case from gavel to gavel right here on Law and Crime. You're watching Law and Crime. We'll be right back.